Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Wellness Warriors. I'm Dr. Veronique Desonier, better known as Dr. V, and founder of BreastCancerConquered.com, the 7 Essential System, and my breast friend. So today I have a very special guest on the show. It's Robbie Raugh, not R-A-W, but R-A-U-G-H. And Robbie's amazing. She's a registered nurse by training, but also an integrative health, fitness, and nutritional practitioner. She's the host of Raw Truth Health and Fitness program on Faith, Family, Food, and Fitness on ESPN Radio and WDCX every week, streaming live worldwide. She also appears regularly on ABC's WKBW TV, AM Buffalo, with her Raw Truth Health and Fitness segments. And you just told me you have a third radio show, which is what?
Yes, it's a talk show on, again, WDCX radio, but a different show than the Raw Truth. It's called the Carrie and Robbie Show, and it's girl talk.
Awesome. Love that. Love that.
Yes,
all right. So tell me, so you started off as a traditional nurse, and now you are an amazing fitness expert and a raw foods expert, nutritional expert. So tell me what caused the shift.
Yeah, so, back in the day, I started in nursing because I was interested in the body and health. But quickly, it occurred to me that the people who were in the hospital with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, cancer, all of that, we weren't really getting to the root of the problem. We were just what I call sick care. It was health care, but it was sick care. There was a pill for every ill, and then we got a bill. And, it's just this crazy, crazy system where we never really get to the root of the problem and find out why people are in the hospital or sick to begin with. And I don't know how that got placed on my heart or where that came from, but I quickly realized that. I did continue to work in nursing for 15 years, but it was a process throughout that I was seeing more and more and more. And I'm like, I want to be on the other end of nursing. I used to say to my mother, I want to be in preventative nursing. And so I had an opportunity to start working at Bally Total Fitness. This was way back in the day. And I worked my way up the ladder to a national director position. I slowly cut down on nursing and eventually was in the health and fitness industry. Halfway through my career, my father got cancer, and that was tough for us because we didn't have any cancer in our family, but he lived a long life. He did smoke, and he lived a long life. He lived to 83. And it was hard for us, but what really rocked my world, Dr. V, was halfway through my career, my sister, who was 40 at the time, she had 2 older boys and 2 babies. She was nursing 2 years in a row, and she had a lump. And at the time, I was working at a doctor's office, an OB/GYN, which she was also working at. And the doctor told us that she had a black milk duct. And he was our boss, our friend. We believed him. We trusted him. And so life went on. A year later, she still has this lump. So we go to another doctor, very, established doctors, who said, oh, yeah, it's a black milk duct. Don't worry about it. So another year goes by, and come to find out, after being misdiagnosed for 2 years with what we thought was a black milk duct, my sister found out she had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer.
Wow.
And yes, at the ripe old age of 42, 2 babies, 2 older boys, a wife, a mother, and it really did rock our world. I just was like, how could we have missed this? How could they have missed this? I just don't get it. Obviously, we got down on our knees and prayed. And then we went to 3 world-class hospitals. We went 3 world-class doctors, 3 world-class hospitals.
Like traditional doctors.
Traditional doctors.
Yeah.
And really, the message was, it's very advanced. It has metastasized, and there's nothing we can do. You truly need to go home and get your affairs in order because you have weeks and months to live. Well, as I said, of course, we got down on our knees and prayed. My mom instilled an incredible faith in us. My sister was a sugarholic. We all were. We ate sugar all the time. None of us were overweight. We ate pasta and bread, which turns to sugar. We ate processed foods. And we went on the internet. My sister was also a principal by day. She was educated. I was educated as a nurse. And we got on the internet. We started researching cancer. And what kept coming up in the research was the link between sugar and cancer, and how cancer feeds on sugar, and the link between, dairy and breast cancer, and toxins in the air, the food, the water, the soil, and all of this. And so really, I never heard of that. It wasn't in the mainstream media then, and it's rarely in the mainstream media now, except for what you're doing and a few others. And I was blown away by it. So I bought my sister a juicer before I was even juicing. And we started juicing, and she started eating whole foods. We cut out sugar, we cut out dairy. And really, through God's incredible grace, and by my sister, I believe, being her own health advocate, my sister lived 10 years.
Wow. Stage 4 metastatic.
Stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And it was the beginning of the journey that I'm on right now. I switched from my focus of the fitness industry to food as medicine. And of course, the importance of exercise was still there, absolutely. But, I learned, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, of course. And what Thomas Edison said back in the day, the doctor of the future will give no medications, but will interest his patient in the care of the human frame and the cause and prevention of disease. And we just don't practice that kind of healthcare right now. My daughter's in DO school, should be a doctor next year, and I pray that she does practice that. But we don't do a very good job of it in the healthcare system. And there's not much money in fruits and vegetables, let's face it. So we're not, we go for a mammogram and they're giving candy kisses, sugar as a little treat for getting your mammogram. And, it's just a crazy, crazy system.
Yeah.
So long story short, all of that. And so in that time, I just learned so much. And the last couple of days of my sister's life, my sister, asked me to promise her two things. Number one was that I would help to find a cure for breast cancer. And of course, finding a cure, meant to me all the pink stuff that goes on and all of that, which, I know that there are some good organizations out there, but really what I believe that God placed on my heart is that the cure is in the food of the earth that God created, that we don't need to read a label on. Mm-hmm. The cure is really being our own health advocate and helping to prevent and reverse disease. Being our own detective through doing self breast exams like my breast friend tools, and really educating ourselves and being empowered by that knowledge of really what is the root cause of the disease and how can we reverse it, because we know we can prevent and reverse disease. We're just not told that. So the other promise that my sister asked me to do is to help take care of her 4 boys, and I do that. But right now, my mission is to help as many people as possible. And what happened over the years is, in I giving talks about this story, and seeing in the fitness industry why people were sick. It wasn't just about eating right and exercising. It was really about their faith, their family, food, fitness, detox, sleep, and stress management, and how it was all vital to our health. And God actually placed those 7 truths on my heart. It wasn't a coincidence. And how I ended up writing my book, The 7 Truths to Health and Fitness, was through interviewing and dealing with all these people that are coming to me that were sick and thick and tired. Some of them didn't even know they were sick and thick and tired. They just thought it was the new norm. They were just getting older. But how all of those 7 truths are so important. And of course, 7 is very significant in the Bible. And so it wasn't a coincidence that the number 7 came to my mind. But faith, we need faith. We need to believe that we can change our health, that we can prevent and reverse disease, and that God is sovereign, and that if someone says to you, you have weeks and months to live, you don't just say, okay, and you prepare for your funeral.
Exactly.
We need to have faith. Family, we need to be surrounded by a support system, whether it's your friends' family or your family's family. We need that support system. We need love. And we know that emotions can manifest themselves into physical ailments. We know that anger and resentment and, unforgiveness and all of these emotions that we have can manifest themselves into physical ailments and can really open the door to disease and lower our immune system. So we need faith. We need family. We need food. Food is a big, big part. And as I said, it's not brain surgery, but there is a science to it. We need to eat the foods of the earth that you don't need to read a label on. You don't need to read a label when you're eating an apple. You just need to make sure it's organic. So we need to eat nutrient-dense foods that feed our bodies, but also our bugs in our body, the microbiome, our gut biome. It's so important because that helps dictate our immunity. It helps dictate our set point weight. We know that obesity is linked to cancer. No one talks about that, but it is. Mm-hmm. And we need to eat the foods of the earth that God created that fuel and feed our body. So food is a section in my book and one of the 7 truths. So faith, family, food, fitness. We know that by exercising, we can boost our immune system. We can help to prevent disease. So it's 63 years old right now. I'm teaching 10 classes a week at our local gym. I teach kickboxing. I teach yoga. I teach weightlifting. And I have never had more energy. But every day that I force myself, and really it's not a force, it's a decision to eat right and to exercise, I know I'm decreasing my chances of getting cancer. So faith, family, food, fitness, detox. We need to detox our bodies. I know you write about all of this in your book as well. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean eating special foods and, drinking, special drinks. Really, in my book, it's eating the foods of the earth that God created that you don't need to read a label on, free of pesticides, herbicides, toxins, GMOs, all of that that's wreaking havoc on our body, our health, and our immunity, and our weight, and our metabolism. And faith, family, food, fitness, detoxing to get rid of those toxins, detoxing both physically, but also mentally and spiritually as well. And then faith, family, food, fitness, detox, sleep, and stress management. They are so vital to our health. I tell my patients, you can eat right and exercise all you want, but if you're not managing your stress, if you're not managing your sleep, you are opening the door to disease. Your body is under attack when you are stressed. And we all have stress. We just need to learn how to manage it. And we need to manage our sleep as well.
Exactly. So important. Love those 7 truths. Very similar to my 7 essentials. So let's talk about stress management. So there was an 11-year study done on women who were healing from breast cancer. And they found that if they learned to manage their stress and if they had community, they had a 79% lower rate and chances of dying from any kind of dis-ease. 79% less risk. So yes. How important is stress management, and what are some things that you suggest to your clients about managing their stress?
Well, first of all, I love how you said dis-ease, because it is dis-ease. And yes, stress management, as we said, we all have it. Stress obviously contributes to obesity as well, which puts us at risk for not only heart disease, but cancer. But there are several ways that you can manage your stress. For me, number one, it's prayer. Listen, there is only so much that we can control ourselves. I say there's two circles. One is small and one is big. And we really only control that small circle, that the things in that circle. Outside here, there's so much we can't control, and we can't worry. We're commanded in the Bible not to worry. Do not be anxious for anything. But we do. So what we need to do is really just lay our burdens down and just pray about it and give it to God. That's number one in my book. And then really, there's so many other things. Shutting down electronically. We are bombarded with negative news and negative this and all of this bad news and bad opinions and people's, social media posts and all that stuff. We need to shut down electronically. We need to slow down. We need to stop rushing. I am very motivated to, make an impact in my life and the lives of the people around us. But I do take the time every day to just meditate on God's word, to slow down and really pray and think about the things that are important in our life. So meditation, slowing down. Accomplishing something as easy as cleaning your house gives you an immediate sense of gratification and accomplishment that can help lower your stress because you've accomplished something or getting organized, something like that. Letting the sun shine in. I mean, I live in Buffalo, New York, where we have gray skies all the time. So, I need to go down south and get some sunshine. I take vitamin D because that's very important, not only to lifting our mood, but also to decreasing our chances of getting cancer. And of course, vitamin B also helps with stress. And then, in terms of other things, talking to a friend, just sharing your concerns or your worries or whatever your burden is with a friend. Sometimes it's your spouse, sometimes it's a friend, whatever it is. But we need to have another person that we can talk to and really work things through. And then, sleep. I mean, sleep is a big way to manage your stress. I don't know about you, Dr. V.
Important, yes.
Yeah. I cannot handle anything when I don't get sleep. It's like I can handle anything, if I am really taking care of this temporary earth suit that I like to call it, this temporary mobile home, number one, because if I'm stressed out about, one thing, I don't want to also be stressed out that I'm putting junk in my body. So I make sure I deliberately be conscious of what I put in my body too, because to me, before I put something in my mouth, I say, is this worthy of being in my body? Is it going to heal and fuel my body? Or is it junk that's going to make me feel like junk? Because when I feel like junk, I get stressed out. So that's another thing.
Yeah, I tell our community, you either feed your body or feed the cancer. It's that simple of a choice, right?
Exactly. And there's just so many ways. Exercise obviously is a big way to handle your stress. I think prayer and exercise are two reasons why I'm still married today, because really we have stress, but we can relieve that stress through prayer and exercise, laying our burdens down, and
Awesome.
really just using some tools to do that.
So let's talk about fitness. You're a fitness expert, and women that we coach are like, do I really need to exercise? And the answer is always yes, you need to move your body. Even the American Cancer Society says that if you just walk 20 to 40 minutes every day, you're decreasing your risk of dying from cancer. So
Yes.
What kind of fitness do you recommend for, let's say, the average pre to postmenopausal woman?
Yeah, really, first of all, where do you start? You just start. You put on your sneakers, you lace them up, and you go for a walk. Walking is fantastic exercise. Get a Fitbit on, start tracking your steps, and really just do it. Do I always feel like exercising? No, but I know I'm going to feel so much better afterwards. And so women always say to me, well, I'm too tired to exercise, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the money. And I say, you are going to spend the time and the money either way. You're either going to spend the time and the money in healthcare, or you're going to spend the time and the money in sick care. So which is better for you? So you gotta put it in your, daytime or your calendar. as if it's a doctor's appointment, and then just do it. And if you're too tired to exercise, remember that energy produces energy. That's how you get energy, by exercising. So what exercise should you do? Well, we start losing muscle at age 35. And with every decade, we lose more muscle. And when we lose muscle, our energy goes down, our metabolism slows down, we start gaining weight, particularly in the midsection, which is a health hazard. And so what we need to do is not only do cardiovascular exercise, like walking or brisk walking or running or treadmill or Stairmaster or Group X classes, but also incorporate weights, resistive training, so that we're burning fat and utilizing calories. Now, I'm pretty lean. I eat a vegetarian diet, so I'm not getting 50 grams of protein in a piece of chicken, but it doesn't matter to me because I am really eating the foods of the earth that I know are healthier for me. And I am losing muscle, but I'm getting protein in everything I eat, because people always say, where do you get your protein, Robbie? I'm like, what do you mean? It's in everything. Right. So in exercise, lifting weights will help build that muscle and keep your metabolism humming throughout the day. When you don't exercise and when you skip meals, our metabolism goes way down. God made our body so that it conserves our fat and energy when we're not eating or when we're not exercising. But if we can eat throughout the day, keeping our metabolism humming, and we can exercise to increase our metabolism more, or burn more fat and utilize more calories, and lower our risk of getting cancer and other diseases. So that resistive training is important. And then the last one is, of course, doing some kind of flexibility, mind-body flexibility and strength, like yoga. And so, yeah, those three components are so important.
To keep us moving, absolutely. So let's talk about sick care versus health care. There's so different. We know that the system that we live in really promotes, disease care. It's really a sick care industry, as you know, being a, registered nurse. So let's talk about the difference and what you advocate about that.
Yes, well, in my practice as a nutritionist, I have people coming to me with, various diseases and weight management issues. And, sometimes people will be, on medication. What bothers me is that their doctor they're not talking to them about their diet and exercise and getting off of that medication, which should be the goal. As I said before, there's a pill for every ill, and then we get a bill, and that's our healthcare system. And so, I took my mom to the doctors when she was in her 80s. She had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. She was headed for a stroke. And I said to her doctor, I said, I want you to help me get my mom off of these 12 medications so that I can get her well. I'll work with her on my end. I'd like you to work with us on your end, because she's taking this medication, and because she's taking that medication, she has to take this medication because of the side effects of that, and this medication because of the side effects of that.
12 medications. Wow.
Yeah, 12 medications. And he said, Robbie, he said, your mom's in her 80s. Let her eat what she wants and give her medication. My mother gave me that look like, don't say anything.
Yeah.
But I went out and I said, when my mom comes out of that room, I would like her chart, because I'm going to take her to a doctor who practices health care rather than sick care. And my mom moved in with us, and within literally 2 months, my mother no longer had high blood pressure. She had no longer had high cholesterol. She had no longer had diabetes. She still had COPD, but she didn't need her oxygen. She had no inflammation. And she went home to be with the Lord at 92. And she was disease-free and was well and did not suffer. And that was what my heart's desire was for her.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so we just need to be our own health advocate. I mean, back in the day, we just listened to what the traditional doctors said, and we took it as the Bible, but they're not God. And whether or not you need to take medication, hopefully for a short time, you should still incorporate integrative medicine or integrative nutrition. So, if you have diabetes, are you changing your diet? If you're on Lipitor, are you trying to get off that Lipitor by changing your diet? If you have cancer, we know we can turn on and turn off cancer cells through our lifestyle and through our dietary habits.
Yeah.
So why not do that? So that's the difference, is really being your own health advocate and being informed by buying books like yours, buying books like mine, finding out tools like the My Breast Friend tools that we can incorporate in being our own health advocate, because it takes a village, and it's not just about taking this pill for every ill. It's so much more than that, to live that abundant life that God desires for us.
Yeah, that's great. Taking responsibility for your health and empowering people so that they can feel confident about making decisions. We know there's so much information out there now that we didn't have 20 years ago, but so important to take responsibility of your health, because nobody's going to take as much care of you as you compared to a doctor or a nurse in traditional medicine. So thank you.
I was just going to say, it's really just, being informed of the options that are out there.
Yes.
There's a lot of options, and it's not just, what you think. So, that's what we try and do, is empower women and men to be their own health advocates and find out what their choices are. Don't just take one opinion and say, okay, I just need to take this medication or this chemo or this radiation or whatever it is.
Exactly. Because we work with women that, are doing traditional treatments, which is, I honor them, respect them, because they're really going into this knowing they're going to be really sick. But at the same time, you can do things to support your body and support your health as you go through that whole process. So Robbie, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your 7 truths and for being so passionate about helping so many people regain their health. So thank you so much. And this is Dr. V signing off and sending everybody a great big healing heart hug. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.